Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and today we need to get some resources mined up. So it's kind of dark right now. We'll time shift the day, but yeah. So I want to show you exactly what's going on and how effective our new mining rig is. But first, we have to get started. So let's go. Alright, so we have just time shifted a little bit, so it should be much brighter for everybody. So happy Monday, everybody. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend and are having a terrific day thus far. So what we're going to do is, I had a couple of people asking about how effective is the new drill. And so what we've done is, we've got plenty of battery power here. I'm not too worried about it. So what we have is a diamond array on the on the mining rigs. So on the drill, basically our center is 5 wide, 5 long, and then we just fill in the spaces in between. We've added another gyro down here to help stabilize everything, and so far the rig, for the most part, is actually fairly stable. Space engineers being space engineers, you know, as you can see, there is a little bit of drift in the system because the way that mass works in the game. It's just space engineers and its floating calculations a little bit screwing things up, but it happens. It's okay. So what we're trying to do is, once we get ourselves dug in a little bit, we don't have to worry about that anymore because the terrain will deal with all of our drift, as you can see there. End up getting a few sparks, but since the drills are working for us here, what we need to do, or what we're going to need to do, is get this thing down far enough that we'll be able to latch on with the landing gear. That's the way the whole thing works. And what I may do here is I may just say, let's go ahead and excavate this a little bit. So depending on what I'm trying to mine out, it will dictate on if I am doing certain things, like if I'm excavating or if I'm just mining things normally. And as you can see, once we get low enough, the landing gear actually latch us on and we can start mining normally. And then what we'll do is we just basically extend one piston. And since we don't have any drift now, this whole thing just goes down and mines what it needs to mine. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab a little bit of the stuff out of here. We should hopefully pull some gold out. In fact, let's check to see. Yeah, we did get a little bit of gold. Let's go ahead and hide this. So we've gotten a whole lot of stone, which is good because we're actually going to use that for our basic materials like nickel, iron, silicon, mainly because of the fact that way I don't have to go mine those other things. That's why I don't mind picking them up here. Now, one of the things that I do want is I do want to pick up some silver, and I do think we're going to run into some problems with that, because I'm probably going to have to relocate to go get the silver. I was hoping that it would be close enough to the gold deposit. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, as it goes down, as you can see, it's got enough room to clear itself, which is good. Once we hit the bottom, we let it run for a couple seconds, and then we recall the pistons. Now I do have the pistons force turned up to 100, I think. By default they're 50, and so basically what I did is I just doubled the force output. And what that does is, as you can see, it's straining just a little bit. Now the reason why I have it set up like that is because I don't want to, if I take it much higher on the pressure, when there's nothing in the cargo pod, what you'll run into is a situation where it's pushing down too hard, and it can actually break some of the things on the ship. So we don't want it to do that. So I keep it at 100 kilonewtons, give or take. I will sometimes boost it up a little bit past that, but with the way that we have this particular system configured, I really don't want to take the chance on that. All right, and are we having issues, or looks like we have overmined just a little bit, so let's go ahead and we have it up to, let's increase that just a little bit. Oh, looks like it might actually be overforced there. I know we're just doing this to get this out of the hole, basically. Because we know that it's clear to this point, so we're not too worried about that. Now if we reset this, 2, 3, 4, 5, you notice it doesn't drift, so that's good. We don't want it to drift. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and disconnect that. Come on, come on. We're gonna be fighting this a little bit. And then we very slowly take ourselves back to the base. Because if we're not careful, this whole thing will crash into the ground. So one of the things that I really do need to consider doing is adding more lateral thrusters as well as forward thrust, for a couple of different reasons. The main one being that, well, we need to get a little bit better balance on it. So what I'll probably end up doing is I may replace the large cargo container with, like, say 9 small ones or something, because that allows me to adjust the center of mass a little bit easier. Keeps control over what's going on with the vehicle. But it is effective. It works really well. But we do have to be careful when we're doing things like changing altitude, because if we're not careful with the amount of mass that we have, as you can see, we're almost at capacity for the 2 large thrusters. And the forward thrust is a problem because of the fact that, because of the way the ship is balanced right now, it's not level. So if we just sit there and let it rest, the way that Space Engineers, because of the way it's calculating forces, because of the pistons and everything involved, you notice that the vehicle starts nosing up, and that can be a problem. So we do want to be careful with that kind of stuff. All right, so all of that said, it's going to take me a couple minutes to get back to the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, we'll do a quick cut. I'll bring you back when we're, maybe after we dock. It might be like right before we dock, I don't know. Anyway, so let me go ahead and do that quick cut, and we will be right back. And we're back. So figured we'd bring you back just in time for the fireworks that may be us trying to connect this thing. Not quite sure. That looks pretty much dead on there. Okay, we'll bring the nose down a little bit. And this is just the touch and go status of the whole thing here. So we can now turn off our thrusters, we can turn off our ore detector, and we can set our batteries to recharge. If you look in here, we'll go ahead and hide empty. Our refineries should be running pretty good. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and move some of this stuff. So I had been running assemblers earlier, as you can tell. I've got just making some ammo and such. So based off of everything that we've got going on, looks pretty good. We've got a whole lot of stone. We'll go ahead and move all of that out of our system. Close all this off. Just make another quick look through here. What is Assembler 3 putting together? Oh, he's still making med pieces. That's why. Okay. Yeah, don't need more of those. At least not right now. Okay. Alright, so drill system mostly works. Ow. So make sure we didn't create too much damage on any of these drills. Looks good. Looks like we lost a couple of plates on that, which, you know, it's going to happen. Which is fine. Just go ahead and grab. Go ahead and grab those. Make sure that stays welded up. Want to make sure that's still good. We're going to check all of our stuff. Needs tubes. Needs tubes. I need 16 tubes, which we can get through here. Go ahead and drop those off. I'll pick those up. And so whenever you're using something like this, you really do want recharge. There you go. You really do want to make sure you're maintaining the pieces, because just normal wear and tear will eventually break things. So if you're not paying attention to it, you could find yourself in a really bad situation. All right, so all of that said, let's show you what we've got going on over here. Now, if you remember on Friday, we were talking about we wanted to have everything piped in from this area down here. So we've got conveyor running now under the ice all the way down to here, and then it turns right here, comes in and is now connected here. So we now have an active connection for conveyor systems all the way into the med bay. And let's go ahead and turn that stuff off. The nice thing is that when you close that door, come back here and show you, look, it's airtight all the way back. And I did check to make sure that each compartment is airtight as well, so that if you are doing something where you want to have, you know, the back section closed off, you can do that and leave the front door open if you want, you know. So we actually have a working med center now. We got the conference area. Just to show you it in game, it's well, in real world, it's coming up on noon my time. So it's actually pretty close to in-game time too. Nice. And we did change the way that we were doing the windows, so we kept the slope and the flat, and then what I went through is I went ahead and went through the building to replace them with the sloped ramps. I found that it actually increased the light inside a little bit, so it's definitely worth, you know, making that change. It really helped brighten the place up just that much more, and we've got just enough lighting in here for me, at least at night, to be still playable, not have to, you know, adjust time. So yeah, worked, came out really nice. I'm actually happy with the overall feel of the building. All right, so what I may do is, if people are interested, let me know, and what I'll do is I'll cut this building free of the base, and it will save the blueprint and upload the blueprint for you. So we can make that available. All right. Now, our power supply, we're actually still doing really well on power. But we need to, excuse me, there are two things that we need to build. We need an actual habitation module, which I think I'm going to use basically the same floor plan or the same basic design as we did for this building. And turn it into kind of a like a general barracks. And then for, well, minus this stuff at least. And then we need to start working on our site-specific mining areas. So for this base, we actually ran all this kind of stuff over here and, you know, started building what's going to be a rather large mining array. But what I think we're going to do is we're actually going to start at the base here and work on something this way. And what I'm going to do is we're actually going to build a system that, or I'm going to try to build a system that will operate kind of like, if anyone's been watching the Space Engineers in like the videos that the guys at Keen put together, they actually have a launch platform to build a space elevator that self-replicates. So it locks in, piston activates, it welds up to a certain point, locks into the new position, unlocks the old position, and rinses and repeats. So what I'm thinking we may do is something similar to that, but for mining. So basically, instead of going up, it's going to go down. But I kind of have to build the blueprint for it. I thought I picked all these up before. Yeah, so I have to build the blueprint for it. Like, I'm actually going to draw this out and see if I can figure out a way to address the need. So what we're going to end up with is something that's going to be smaller in diameter than what the mining rig itself pulls out. So that basically what it can do is it'll detach the mining head from where it's at, build in a new support column, reattach. Now, like I said, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to make this work. I have some ideas, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it to work quite the way that I'm hoping it will. We'll see. All right, but that's for later this week. Maybe we'll start on that Wednesday, and I'll work on the blueprint over the next couple of days or so. But for now, let's go ahead. Actually, I've got a bunch of ice. Why don't? Oh, because I just picked it up. Silly Hal. Okay. We're just going to come over here. I'm going to drop that off. I'm going to find one of these with some ice in it to grab some more out of that. And we are going to get... Let's go ahead and do that and that. Okay. So now we need a barracks space. Let's see, I'm kind of torn on what I want to do with the barracks, because I'm almost tempted to put the barracks in between the towers. But I'm not sure that's going to have an impact on the power output. It shouldn't, because generally speaking, these things are only looking to see if they're clear from each other and from voxels, terrain voxels. I had to stop and think about that for a second. So if we... All right, let's see here. We're going to break that for a second. All right, so what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and repair this one now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check to see what the output of that one is. All right, so we're at optimal and we are at 377.44. So if we impact this, we're just basically testing something out here. I'm not too stressed about it. Okay, so yes, it does. It's still optimal clearance, but it does drastically reduce output. Alright, so if we go that, how's that gonna work? $368. Now if I take this one off, are we back up into 370 or are we still at 368? Because what I'm looking for is I'm trying to figure out, yeah, see? So as long as, it looks like as long as it's under it, it's fine. Given what we saw, that should put us back at 371 or so. Is that right? 377. Okay, so as long as we don't go over that point, how many blocks away is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh? Because you're there, so we actually has to keep 4 blocks of clearance to keep it optimal. Because it extends 1 block down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 5. Okay, so it is 5 blocks clearance. Okay, so that. So as long as our barracks don't go above that line here. So if we go out a bit, is that going to impact? No. Okay, so if we are there, that's, it goes 2 blocks out from there, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we go there, do a little bit of 377.4 still, we're okay. Which is, we're going to be in this area now. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 4, 5. So if we do one there, does that impact test? $377.4. The reason I want to check this is because if we can get this height up here, this actually means we'd be able to build 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide, which means we'd be able to get walls, and we could slope the walls on the side up and be able to have more space in the middle, which means we could actually have like most of our mechanicals and things inside the building. So test 377.4, looking to see just how close we can get before we start impacting wind production there. Ah, look at this. So I think we may have just discovered the secret of the wind detector. Look at that. So it's only detecting on the sides, not the top. Oh, that opens up all sorts of possibilities. Yep, it's only detecting off of the sides, not the top. So if we go there, that means we can actually build our base that wide, actually. So then that would mean we could place a block there and shouldn't impact anything. Look at that. All right, that's good to know. That's actually really good to know, because what that means is that since it's only detecting collision on the sides, which is what I had thought, which is one of the reasons why I had originally had built these wind flowers, I guess you could call. That was why I built them originally, was because that way they were outside of each other's detection range. But I thought it was because they were worried about, you know, on top. Because if that's true, then we can actually do some pretty interesting things. Actually, I don't want to leave that there. And that one's there. Yes, yeah, okay. So basically, we can get... Come on, there we go. Well, we can build in this area without impeding our power generation. And it only has to have 5 blocks between the two of them. So that means we can get, man, we can get a hell of a lot of power. Wow. I'm gonna have to do some wind farm tests, but for now, let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So we'd be able to build our barracks in that width of space. And we can build it as tall as we want. We could actually build this to be taller than these wind turbines, up to the point of the 1 block below that. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, because if we don't have to worry about these at all, that means we'd be able to go... Okay, so it's here. This goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd be able to build another tower like here. In order to have the all of the wind on this side be together. So we'd actually only need to build it like here-ish. So we said here. 1, 2, 3, actually. So if this is equal here, so it's going to be... Here's going to be the end of that, so 2, 3. Yeah. We'd be able to get almost a complete... Man, if I rebuilt these, I might have to rebuild my power system. Because if I rebuild my power at that density, the area that we have everything scattered in right now, I'd be able to basically cut in half. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be able to get some seriously dense wind farms up, and I may actually do that over here in this space. Because if we do that, basically we break all these down, move them over here using that new the new density. I'll leave this one over here because I just like it there. It's a nice set piece. I'll probably leave these over here too just because, but man, that opens up a lot of possibilities. All right, so you go away. Come here. Right, so these are the outer walls. That'll be the outer wall. We'll have 5 spaces interior. We are going to do basically what we did before. I think we'll do the 5 by 11 again. That worked out pretty well actually last time. That's a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so we do 11 interior. So we're going to bring this back because this will be the front wall here. Basically just like we did on this side. So our entrance will be in here. You'll have a area that you can walk down on here. And so this is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 there. And this should be yeah, okay. Alright, and then now we just have to come through and basically fill in the flooring. This is the simple part, kind of boring, but it has to be done. Okay. Alright, yeah, so I have to say, I'm glad. So because I remember doing some testing on the way that the detection worked for these, as far as like the optimal positioning detection, but I hadn't really looked too far into the collision maps. So it's kind of interesting to see that their collision detection stuff as far as things impacting the power output. Glad to see that my theory was correct. It would have been nice to know that before I had started building, but I never really needed to worry about it because I had figured, you know, I found a system that worked for us as far as power generation was concerned, so I didn't really need to go back and revamp it. But knowing that I can get things that close together, man, that's really going to change a lot of stuff for us. All right. Okay, so inside corner. Like I said, we're going to reproduce the basic. You're doing every other, right? Did I do every other one in there? Yeah, okay. So we do every other. Helps if I have those. I can hear it now. I can just imagine the number of people that are going, "How? You've got them backwards." Oh, silly panda's gonna be silly, right? All right. Okay. And then what we did here is we did an extra layer here. We did this on both sides. you know, to be fair, shouldn't impact our build too much. Go ahead and take you out. We're just basically gonna come through and get all of this stuff mostly done. I'm almost tempted to move this back so that there's a full... Well, I guess not. I guess that works. I might. So if we go... Have to take all this out in order to extend it, which is fine. I don't mind too much. Alright, so if we go back one, there we go. Did I just do that like completely backwards? Ah, because I didn't add the last row yet. Yeah, you can tell I haven't been sleeping well. Okay. You're gonna go there, you're gonna go there, you come out. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? Now, I'm just putting in some placeholders here so that I know roughly where things are going to be placed. And then what we'll do is some of these blocks will come out, specifically the cubes. We're more likely to pull those out and put things like the bathrooms or showers or whatever. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we do 2 showers, 2 toilets, space with 2 showers, 2 toilets. And then we can have, so if that's going to be there, space there. It's going to be windows 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives us 8. So basically, you know, half the staff can be doing something at one point. Okay, that actually works out really well for us. So if we do that, you are, I think you're under the toilet now, right now. So that'll be the toilets and showers. So if we go like so, we do the same. Actually, if we do that, you can see into the shower. That's not so good. That. And here we will how about if that maybe for now we'll just do that. Okay. And then we'll have, just like we did with the other one, we'll have the windows that come up and over. We'll have a door here. Let's go. I forgot we have the door mod in. All right. Let's go. Just a regular door. And then that leaves us with quite a bit of open space in here. And these are basically the enlisted bunk area, you know. They don't need a whole lot of privacy, right? There you go. And I mean, if we really wanted to, we could actually make some of this area like private bunk space. We have that option. And what I'm thinking here, actually that might not be a bad idea. Take it down to 6 bunks and put like a kitchen dining area in here. That might not be bad. Take out these guys. Alright, we're just gonna put these in for here right now, because we don't need a whole lot of room for this. What I may do is we could say, I'm just trying to get an idea of spacing here. Would I want a center pass door here, or would I want, yeah, I'd probably want a center pass door. And then what I'm thinking here is that we'll do windows so that the folks that are in these bunks actually aren't just crowded in. Yeah, so if we do that, so where are, it's under armory. There we go. So what I'm thinking here is we do something maybe like this. No, I don't like that. That blocks too much of the floor plan. Let's see here. If we do something like this, maybe. Oh, let's see, do they, no, they don't show up under there. Are they, yeah, under that. Let's go ahead and grab the planter one, and we're gonna grab sofas. So if we go, what I'm thinking here is go hardcore military style. See, I would like. Oh man, why don't they give us? I want the freight one to be that large locker that's on the bottom there. That'd be so much better. All right. So if we do something like this, and then on this side. Actually, let's do it on the other side, because what we're going to end up with is we're going to have that actually works out better on this side, because what we're going to do is we're going to set up areas for everybody. There you go. Like I said, it's not supposed to be, you know, overly grand. It's just supposed to be functional enough for everybody to get what they need done. And maybe do something like this, or so if we go with these, so you've got places to sit, you've got places to study. If you need to do some basic workout like press, you know, sit-ups or whatever, you've got the room for that. I think we're going to go just with the regular benches here as well. What I may do is, does it make sense to have this? That might be too cluttered, and we can always come back and take it out if we need to. But yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so we have some basic stuff back here. Got our big area there. And we're gonna go. I don't know if I actually want to. I may actually want to set the door off on one side here, because that opens up a lot of possibility over here as far as like putting in like a lounge and seating and stuff. Because if we do something like this, so, you know, basically this is your dorm guard. Whoever has to do secure duty, guess what you're doing? Oh, that might not be bad. Yeah, that worked. That should work, right? And then on this side, is that another planter? Really? I didn't realize that was under planter. There you go. Could do the kitchen there. And then we set up the something like that, maybe. Oh no, that one chair right there might be the game breaker. Let's try this. Yeah, that works better. I think that flows a little bit better. Because we're going to have the door here, you come through. There will be a door here, which we're going to go ahead and do basic interior door here. We're going to do the sliding door there. Come in, you got the kitchen area. Go back here. Yeah, that should work. And like I said, I'm thinking what we'll probably do here is actually, let's go ahead and do it while we're thinking about it. We're going to go ahead and repeat the windows that we did. There and there. I do think we're going to actually go ahead and repeat what we did for the doorway. Because if we do this, then we can take this person, like this desk, put it there. That opens up this area a bit, gives us a little bit more room here, and we'll have windows looking in. And then for the rest of the bunk area, it'll be windows up and over, just like we did for the other section. Okay. Kind of liking where this is going. Now, I haven't piped in the O2 systems yet, so we'll have to figure that out. But I think what we're going to do, because we have gone really, really long over, let me go ahead. We'll do a quick cut, bring you back for a couple minutes, but I want to get all of this welded up so you can see what it looks like, and we can decide if we want to move forward with the design or not. All right, so yeah, we will be right back. And we're back. All right, so just recharging here a little bit. Whoa, kicked me out. Why did it kick me out? Is it because of the crates? We may have to replace those crates. Let's go here. Hold that up again. Okay. As long as we can get out, that's what's important. I wonder if we do that. Yeah, so depending on where you stand when you get into the bed, it's going to kick you out with the crates. So if we do... If we do that, okay, so that's going to automatically kick me out. So if we go this way with it, that's going to kick me out. Okay, so it basically has to be on the far edge. I mean, I guess I could don't want to do it that way, but I guess I could take those out and put lockers here and here. Alright, so I'm going to have to think about that. Turn light on here so you can see a little bit better. So we do have everything welded up. I still need to come through and weld up the floor and walls, but for now, this at least gets you an idea. If you come in, you've got the windows here. You've got a small seating area over on this side. You've got, you know, the small dining area over here, which, you know, can be sealed off and is separate from the habitation area. You come back here. Now I did make a change. I went ahead and put in the heavy windows, just like we did in the med bay area. I thought it was kind of interesting because it keeps the dynamic a little bit more better. So it just shows you know, because a lot of the things that you do, a lot of the things you build in the military, especially for deployment areas, are modular. You get if you're lucky and you're doing hardbacks, you get you get a floor platform, and then you put walls up on it, and then you can change the interior, you know, based on what you need it to be. So some of the exterior walls may have a window on them, or it may be a solid wall. So it's a very dynamic system. And that's basically what we're doing here. Is we keep a general theme on the build, or a general style on the build. And we have pieces that we interchange on the exterior, which I think works pretty well. I am actually happy with the walkthrough, the you know, the progression flow through here. You do have areas that are fairly well defined. So each person, while they don't really have a whole lot of privacy, for now, we'll just go ahead and do this for now, just to get it there. And like I said, I'll play around with it. And while folks don't have a whole lot of privacy, they do have space that is pretty clearly defined as theirs. You know, so I do think I like the way that this whole thing came together. Let's go grab some plates. We'll start welding up the floors and such. But this video has, once again, gone a little bit longer than expected. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. I want to thank you all for stopping in. When we come back next time, we will work on the upper area of this, and we'll figure out how we're going to do like the air systems. And I'm thinking what we'll end up with is I'll probably do this one central, where we'll have a conveyor junction on top of this door, probably one on top of that door, and then on either side of that we'll have vents. And then from there we'll be able to have the windows come through, because we're going to have windows up and over just like we did over there. And so we'll probably end up reproducing most of what we have over there. Hey, look, perfect timing. I see wolves everywhere. Come here, guys. So, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in the section below. Where did he go? Oh, he's running away. Okay. Anything good? If you are new to the channel, haven't done so already, and want to see more, be sure to subscribe if you want to be kept up to date with what's going on around this place. You know, with those notifications, be sure to ring that bell. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, there's a small bell icon next to the subscribe. And, well, if you click it, YouTube says that they will let you know when we release new content. Whether they actually do or not is a completely different thing. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll see you back here on Wednesday for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Alright, just make sure we've got all this figured out. Start getting the exterior portions loaded up. Yeah. Lots to do.